Hello.
We are the winners, watch us glimmer like the sun, we're the champions. We're in control, body and soul.
In this video essay, I'll be talking about star studies and celebrity studies, specifically understanding the differences between the two terms star and celebrity. On first glance, they might appear to be the same thing. Tom Hanks, for example, is both a star and a celebrity. However, this interchangeability only really applies when looking at a minority of cases. Someone like Kanye West doesn't seem to fit into the bracket of star, but he's clearly a celebrity, so what is it that differentiates these two categories? I think the best way to compare them is through a series of similarities and differences. So let's first look at the similarities. Both terms can refer to famous people or people that are focused on by the media, although being in the media a lot doesn't necessarily put you in either category. They're also both media constructs, i.e. entities that wouldn't exist without propagation by both news media and the entertainment media in which they appear. Perhaps most importantly, they both share the common link of wealth, fame, power, and/or popularity. However, properly defining two terms so closely related requires an extensive look at their differences, which is what the majority of this video essay will focus on. The first distinction that comes to mind when I consider the divide is the scope of each term. Many theorists have their take on the meaning and implications of stardom, but it's hard to find a concrete definition of what a star is. Richard Dye, the biggest name in star theory and writer of the 1979 book Stars, says that stars are separated into three separate parts: stars as a social phenomenon, stars as images, and stars as signs. This alludes to perhaps his most famous concept, the star image, which posits that stars as we perceive and consume them aren't people but are instead collaborative constructions created by those in control of the star and their image. I went too fast.
That's nice.
Including audiences themselves. In other words, stars are for-profit creations made to benefit the industry in which the star works. Obviously they're performed by real people, but Dye's point is that the star does not represent a real person. The term star is etymologically figurative, obviously derived from the celestial star so as to imply reverence and their vast distance from regular people. Celebrity, on the other hand, comes from the Latin celebritate, which means frequented or honoured, a celebrated person in literal terms. This illustrates the difference in social attitudes between the two. A star is seen as distant or even unreachable, an entirely different class of people, while celebrities remain very much in the mortal realm.
A woman emptied the bag onto the reality star's head as she shouted at the top of her voice, "Fur hag."
One of Dye's key points on star theory is the contradiction of presenting as ordinary while simultaneously being so blatantly distant from our version of life. Meanwhile, while a celebrity is still celebrated culturally, the divide between normal people and celebrities has never been so narrow, particularly with the advent of social media giving the two parties a common platform upon which to interact. This is particularly salient when looking at internet celebrities like YouTubers or Twitch streamers, whose success is perhaps more reliant on their fans than any other celebrity. This also highlights another key difference between stars and celebrities, the fact that stars are revered and respected a lot more than celebrities. After all, no award show is held in higher regard than the Oscars, a public spectacle that captivates the media's attention for a few days per year. The biggest stars today are people like Robert Downey Jr., Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, all of which are held in both high regard by the public and the media. Looking at the biggest celebrities, you have people like Kylie Jenner or Drake, individuals which you could easily argue are very talented, but you wouldn't be stirring too much controversy if you said they weren't. Overall, there's far less consensus on the worth of celebrities when compared to the near-universal acclaim that Hollywood stars receive. There's a popular belief floating around that is exemplified in a nice quote from theorist Daniel Boorstin, which is that the celebrity is a person who is well known for their well-knownness. Personally, I think Renown would have sounded a lot less clunky, but I'm no media theorist. What this quote expresses is not only the idea that celebrities are less talented and implicitly less deserving of their fame than stars, but a general culture of scrutiny around celebrities that stars seem to avoid. Of course, there is an overlap between the two, and it's not uncommon to see a B-list movie star's name plastered across the news, but I think the media is generally a lot less forgiving of celebrities than it is of stars, to the point where it's almost trivialized.
Said some pretty nasty things to some Afro-Americans, a lot of trash talk, and
Stop laughing, it's not funny.
When a star is wrapped up in something unbecoming, it's a scandal, but when the same fate befalls a celebrity, it's labelled as drama. There's a tangible difference in public reactions as a result of the reverence we collectively perpetuate for stars. A scandal is met with disappointment or shock, whereas drama is leapt on almost with enthusiasm to delve into these people's private lives that have been forced into the public. We're all at least somewhat aware of the superficiality of celebrity, so there's something uniquely compelling about seeing the carefully cultivated mask slip. Just the other day, I spent over an hour deep diving into the turbulent history of the 2000s radio show The Opie and Anthony Show and its host's increasingly frequent on-air arguments.
It was a lousy face that I've done a million times. There's a bunch of things
No, I
you
know
do
that face.
that you do that could have set me off easily.
I know that face.
So you finally hate the face. Great.
No, I know that face means that you're pissed, and that was a joke. It was a legitimate fucking radio listener understands this bit joke. It wasn't a personal jab at you.
I had never before listened to the show and was only aware of the personalities in passing, but I was able to access the years of history and key moments in the breakdown of this actual friendship, all conveniently packaged by media outlets eager to profit from it. There's also the matter of the time difference in the terms. Star has been a term since even before the film industry, but celebrity really only began to pick up relevancy in the 80s, reaching its current peak in 2014. Because of this, the connotations of each term have been shaped by the era of their relevancy. Stars conjures up images of the golden age of Hollywood, of Judy Garland and Marlon Brando, while celebrity invokes reality TV and 24-hour news media. This means that celebrity as an idea is loaded with all the implications carried by digital technology, such as the ability to become famous without production companies or agents. This has the unintended effect of somewhat cheapening celebrity as a concept, since it isn't gatekept in the way that stardom once was and is. Another key result of a more prominent media is the differing permanence of each term. When someone is adorned with the star label, they tend to stay that way even after retiring, whereas someone's celebrity status can be easily revoked if their popularity starts to wane. Relevancy is a far greater part of celebrity culture than it is of stars, as is clear from the droves of listicles like 15 once famous celebrities we forgot even existed. Ruth A. Della conceptualizes the fame cycle, which outlines 6 key stages into which celebrities can be categorized. Interestingly, only the proper celebrity category could be unambiguously called a celebrity, while the others all pine for fame they either are yet to achieve or have already lost. In essence, there's an intangible ephemerality to celebrity that stardom doesn't share, and this both draws from and perpetuates the long-lasting institutional respect that stardom carries. In conclusion, while star and celebrity are often used interchangeably, I think that the discourse around stardom is waning in favour of celebrity culture, which encapsulates a lot more about the contemporary model of fame. In one recent essay, theorist Adrian Wesolowski proposed that even celebrity culture as a field of research became too complicated due to the constantly shifting meaning of what it means to be a celebrity, and that it should instead be superseded by fame studies as a more comprehensive umbrella. Putting fame studies aside, what this highlights more than anything is that even if the two terms are definable now, they will, much like celebrities themselves, be rendered irrelevant by the yet unseen developments of the future.